So good morning, everyone. My name is Alan Buchanan, and I'm so happy to see a number of smiling faces here today, some I actually recognize, which is pretty cool. So I'm a principal with Lee & Associates Commercial Real Estate Services, and we do a couple of things. The first thing we do is we help business owners much like you locate suitable space for rent and for purchase. And we also help building owners find tenants and buyers for their vacant buildings. And so I'm going to spend a couple of minutes today and I'm going to talk to you about the one thing that every single person in this room has in common. And if someone had a drum, maybe they could give me a drum roll. Drum roll, please. That one thing is a location. Every single business owner has a location in common. Now, whether you occupy a suite of offices, whether you are a manufacturer, whether you're even a home-based business, everyone has that in common, which is the location. And the question that I get universally asked by every single owner and occupant that I represent is, what is my property worth? And I have to tell you, very, very good news if you own commercial real estate. Since the beginning of 2013, we have seen property values increase by almost 50%. Now, if you purchased a building, if you owned a building, $100 a square foot, January of 2013, that same building today is worth approximately $150 a square foot. It's absolutely staggering. As a matter of fact, we're almost in that scary area where values have eclipsed 2007 levels. We're actually seeing a trend in the marketplace right now where if a company is planning to exit the business in the next 3 to 5 years, they're selling their building today to capitalize on the value and leasing it back for 3 to 5 years. Now, if you lease commercial space, we've not seen as big a pop in rents as we have in purchase prices. But what we do expect to see within the next 12 to 18 months is those rents are going to increase just purely from the sake of economics. So if you signed a lease in 2010, 11, or 12, and you're up for renewal this year or in the next 18 months, chances are you're going to be paying a higher rent. And I see Paul Den just looking at me, he's a client of mine. You're going to be paying higher rents than you did 3 to 4 to 5 years ago. Now, many in this room have experienced this phenomenon. Businesses are growing. Many of your businesses are growing, and you find yourself out of space. Let's face it, to relocate a business is difficult. Moving actually sucks. And I wish my friend Ron Larry was here to highlight that. Ron's in the moving and storage business. But moving sucks. I mean, it's disruptive, it's expensive, and rarely do you achieve the sort of efficiencies that the move is anticipating. There are probably 10 ways that you can stay in an existing location without having to move, and you should be talking to your advisors about that because, once again, moving is difficult on your company. If you do, however, find yourself in a situation where you do need to relocate, I was talking to Chris a bit earlier. Chris's business is in Santa Fe Springs, and Chris mentioned that they had consolidated a couple of locations into their Santa Fe Springs location. And I'm sure that he would attest that that is the one occasion where you might have to move. I'd give you a couple of pieces of advice here. The first thing I would suggest is allow a tremendous amount of time to make this happen. 12 to 18 months is not too soon to start to plan a move. The second thing I would suggest is engage great help. The last thing you want to do is venture out into the commercial real estate market without good representation. And last but not least, I would suggest that you consider all of your alternatives. Now, even though you may have outstripped the space of your existing building, even though your company may have been acquired and consequently you've got too much space, it's still a good idea to consider that existing location as one of your alternatives. Okay, and with that, I am going to turn the time over to my good buddy, Mr. Eric Dickerson.